All right, everyone, welcome to Common Area. Our first match is here. We have the one and only Aaron Rubin here on the left on Blue Red Delver, and local player Garrett here on the right with Mono Green Stompy. So this is part of our new Common Area video series. Common Area, excuse me, not Common Aria. And we're going to be dubbing over this match basically. And so we'll be recording these, probably release them every 2 weeks. Players are taking a look at their hands. Here we can see Garrett presenting his to the camera, and then I think Aaron will do the same here in just a moment if he decides to keep. There it is. So, Mike, are you excited?
Yeah, I am. We've been looking into doing some video content, and turn one from Garrett is Forest into Nettle Sentinel. So who do you like in this matchup overall?
I think I like I think I like Blue Red Delver. They just have so much spot removal that unless Garrett's able to overwhelm Aaron quickly here, it could be a pretty quick match. And here he gets in for 2 with that Nettle Sentinel. Aaron taking 2, going down to 18. And then Garrett presumably having a follow-up play to untap it. We'll see what he does. And if he can go like Burning Tree, something here, he'll be really putting on the pressure.
All right. Silhana Ledgewalker still presents a clock that requires Delver to actually pay attention.
Well, Delver has so many flyers, and as you saw, Aaron did not flip off of that draw there, so that will put him a little bit behind. And he's actually playing out an Ash Barrens. It looks like that's never a good sign.
No, I mean, if he has a 2-drop, he really wants to get down here. And Augur of Bolus is a fine way to spend your turn too, especially against an aggressive deck. And hitting a counter spell off of that is just gravy. Although if he doesn't find that second blue source, that's kind of going to be dead in hand.
And it looks like Garrett is putting an Elephant Guide on that Silhana Ledgewalker and getting in for 4.
Oh man, that is a clock. And right now, unless that Delver flips, that is just gonna put. All right, okay, Delver flips,
but Aaron doesn't have access to any red mana, so that's also very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a mountain in his hand yet, I don't think. So unless he draws into that soon, he could be in a world of trouble here, especially with only one colored mana source. I don't like his odds here.
And it looks like he's going to attempt to race.
All right, I think that's defensible in this position. If he can draw into ways to interact with these cards, he's going to be happy. But at this point, what are his outs against that Silhana Ledgewalker?
Vapor Snag, maybe?
Hexproof.
He's boned.
I mean, I think that's a pretty fair analysis. And Garrett's just hitting everything he really wants to hit here. Oh, and we've got a Spell Stutter Sprite. Probably the right call against the Kyrian Ranger. That card can run away with the game if you let it. And follow-up is Nest Invader and another Nettle Sentinel. Oh, man.
So this is what we were talking about. He's just able to overwhelm Aaron here with his creatures, and Aaron has no good blocks really, but also no good attacks either. Aaron just like sort of Aaron getting in for 4. Maybe we'll see a Ninja here, but I don't know if that really helps. So, oh yeah, here's Ninja. So he is trying to race, but like this board, it feels unraceable. So he's desperately trying to find another land here. It looks like I don't think he has any.
Because if he can find a red source, he at least. Oh, going to discard. That's rough. I was going to say, if he can find a red source, he can at least potentially fizzle a pump spell to kind of slow the clock, but, oh, man.
He just wasn't able to.
That's 8. Oh, and there it is. Wow.
Yeah, a kicked Vines of the Vastwood from Garrett there. So moving to game 2, let's talk about sideboard cards. Like we just talked about in our episode. Aaron definitely going to be bringing in Swirling Sandstorm.
Yeah, that's got to be a big game here. What kind of cards do you anticipate Garrett is going to be bringing in here? Are we going to see some of the fight effects? I don't have his exact 75 in front of me, so what sort of effects can you anticipate him bringing in for this matchup?
You know, I probably should have asked them for their for their 75s. He'll be bringing in, I anticipate, tap ping flyers, elf.
Skyshroud Archer. There we go.
Yeah, I think that'll be a card he brings in here. It combos so well with Kyrian Ranger.
Now, do you think Aaron's in a position where he wants to bring in? I guess outside of the Swirling Sandstorms, what else is he potentially bringing in? Do you think it's worth bringing in some number of Dispels if he's got them in the board?
He could. I could also see him bringing Electricity, although I think that might be a bit of a trap against Stompy. I don't know if they have enough X ones to really make that worthwhile. But we could potentially see that out of Aaron's board as well. He's not going to be bringing in Stormbound Geist. What do you think about Relic for Young Wolf?
I've never been a big fan of that unless you have some sort of sweeper to couple it with. Because if you can sweep the board and crack Relic at the same time, you can get some decent value out of it that way. It just seems like a very, very slim margin there. Now, we saw this Ohana Ledgewalker game 1, and you did point out that, Aaron does have enough flyers to potentially block it, but even just one enchantment slapped on that presented a huge, huge problem for him. So does he just have to kind of cross his fingers and hope that Silhana Ledgewalker doesn't come down early and he can't interact with it?
Yeah. I think that's probably one of the worst cards against him, just because of that.
All right.
Okay, here they're cutting. I'm not sure why he... Maybe they'd already cut. Sorry, we had a bit of a jump cut there. That's my bad video editing. But I do know that these are sequential matches, so that's good.
All right. So we can safely assume Aaron is going to be on the play here. I think I saw multiple lands and a counterspell and a Delver. And I think that's probably about where you want to be. Hopefully he's got some cantrips in there to couple with it. And it looks like Garrett going down to 6 here.
Yep.
That is one of the risks of playing mono green Stompy. The deck is so light on lands that you wind up with these awkward hands where you kind of are relying on hitting another land for it to be good. So, hopefully you can manage to keep this 6 here, because those malls below 6 are just real rough. All right. Yep. It looks like he's taking his scry, leaving it on top. All right.
So no Delver from Aaron, but I did see a counterspell for sure. Right. Turn 1 Nettle Sentinel from Garrett.
All right. This is the aggressive start that he wants to have. He wants to be representing pressure. All right. Double blue on turn 2. So here's the thing. If you're in Garrett's position, obviously you're getting in for 2. Are you going to try and potentially going for Nest Invader? Yep, that is going to be a hard counter there.
I think you just have to jam and hope that you can overwhelm Aaron's resources.
Now, I didn't get a good look at Garrett's hand. I'm wondering if he had any 1-drops, because I kind of would have liked to bait out that counterspell. And here we're seeing Aaron, even though he's on the play, taking a more controlling role. And I kind of like that in this matchup.
I think he's got Garrett stopped on his beginning of combat step.
All right.
Oh no, maybe it might still be main phase 1.
There's clearly a lot of stuff going through these players' heads. Now I think I see just the corner of a red card in Aaron's hand.
I think he must have a bolt in his hand.
So the question here is, as the Stompy player, do you try to suit up this Nettle Sentinel? Okay. Scattershot Archer. And, ooh, that resolves.
That's pretty good. So it's interesting that Garrett decided to do that pre-combat.
Maybe he was hoping to bait something out. I would not be surprised if he had a Rancor in hand. Oh, but we're seeing a second Scattershot Archer.
That's pretty brutal, because that means that Aaron's Spellstutter Sprites and his Delvers are not going to be very strong in this game.
Yeah, that's just... Oh, looks like we're seeing some end-of-turn stuff here. Cycle Ash Barrens.
Getting another island out of his deck.
All right, so he's now in kind of an awkward position where he sort of took he kept what looks like a pretty controlling hand, and it doesn't look like Garrett's presenting him with a whole lot of pressure. And I've just got to wonder, like, we saw that turn, he left up 3 mana and did nothing with it. So hopefully we'll see. All right, Augur of Bolus.
Yep, leaving up Counterspell.
Yep.
Oh, that's a whiff on Augur. That's
Ooh.
not good. That's not good. At least he has a blocker for this Nettle Sentinel, though. I mean, yeah, Nettle Sentinel, though.
Yeah, and that is going to sort of waylay Garrett's plans and force him into taking an action here. Even if it's playing a pump spell, if it's trying to get a Rancor to stick, either one of those is not an appetizing face in two open blue mana when someone's just been sandbagging stuff. And I see the counterspell right there. Right on top of the hand.
And I think I see a Swirling Sandstorm in Aaron's hand, so if he's able to just answer Garrett's... If he's able to just get cards in his graveyard, I also saw a Preordain in there. If he's able to just get cards into the graveyard, he might be an okay spot if he manages to wipe the board. So Chumps blocks the Nettle Sentinel, takes 2, another Nettle Sentinel from Garrett. We're kind of seeing a repeat of game 1 here, where Aaron is really struggling to get on the board in the face of these Scattershot Archers, and Garrett's going to be able to apply a lot of pressure.
That said, against an aggro deck, he's still at 14, which is a pretty safe life total. And with this Preordain, we're just going to get to dig, and another Preordain. So is he trying to set up for another? Is he trying to set up for a Sandstorm on his next turn? Because he's pretty close. I see 5 in the bin.
Yeah, he just needs 2 more, representing Counterspell again. Yeah, I think he's trying to set up for... I'm pretty sure I saw a Sandstorm in his hand, and if he's able to get that off before Garrett can apply too much more pressure, then I think he's going to be in very good shape. Aaron's going to be in very good shape.
Now, the thing is, Garrett hasn't presented a lot of his like high-value threats outside of those 2 Nettle Sentinels. Do you think he's trying to play around the Swirling Sandstorm, since it's almost guaranteed his opponent will have it?
I think he must be. That's really going to get him if Aaron has it and is able to kill a significant number of his creatures. Like, right now, it's not... It wouldn't be... I mean, it'd be bad, but it wouldn't be, like, the end of the world. So, it looks like he might only have a couple... Oh. So, he's trying to 1-for-1 here on that. Just to stem the bleeding, he's trying to get rid of one of these Nettle Sentinels.
I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that, but if that's what he's got to do, it's what he's got to do. And Garrett just passing this to me reads that he's decided that he has enough to start sort of attritioning this game out.
Now, Mike, here's the thing. Look, he's counting his graveyard. If that Electricity got him to 7, I think it was good.
Looks like it got him to 6. Hopefully he has another... Oh, and there's a Ninja. And
that's going to be pretty valuable for him here in order to draw that card and then get another spin on the Augur, looking for a red spell here to try and get rid of another one of these guys. There's a Bolt. Perfect. Might even go ahead and fire it off now in order to play around. Nope. I thought there's a consideration to go ahead and fire it off to play around that card.
Vines.
Yeah, Vines, thank you. But he is the blocker, so it's not a big deal. Sorry, the game is a little fast paced, so I'm trying to like. All right, there's a Kyrian Ranger.
All right.
A little. I mean, if you think Aaron has Swirling Sandstorm, I mean, we know. I think he does, and we as commentators obviously know a little bit different. Oh, he's attacking. I thought he just attacked.
Nope. He's getting in.
I thought he had just attacked and Aaron blocked. Maybe I missaw.
All right, so it looks like... Oh, I guess we're just doing the untapping trick here. All right, so Bolt on the Nettle Sentinel. All right, unkicked Vines. There you go. So he didn't do it on his own turn, but he managed to bait out the Vines, which feels pretty good here. Now, I do want to point out that if Garrett has another Vines, he can make at least one thing survive through a Swirling Sandstorm.
Maybe Aaron doesn't have one, because I think you just fire it off. Well, it would nuke his board, too.
But I think he's okay with that. He has more card draw, and even though Garrett's been playing very conservatively, I feel like he's in a comfortable position. All right, and he's going to scred the Nettle Sentinel. That looks good.
Now we can attack with the Ninja potentially and draw another card, because I doubt that Garrett will want to block with this Kyrian Ranger.
Yeah, I think I'd just get in there. I don't see any downside for him at all here.
Aaron must maybe double Vines, maybe a Rancor Vines. He could lose to that still pretty easily here, so maybe he just values the blocker a little bit more. Garrett tapping out for a
This has got to be
elephant guide. Yeah,
Yep.
and unfortunately, Aaron, well, he's got the counter spell, so we're good. Those guys, fortunately, didn't have another. He doesn't have red up, but the counter spell works.
All
Yeah,
right.
he's really grinding Garrett out this game.
Is Garrett gonna?
Garrett,
He can't
Garrett-
get in. He can't swing here, can he?
No, I don't think so.
All right, bounce the forest, replay the forest. The good old Stompy dance.
Yeah, he does have a swirling sandstorm in his hand.
All right. Is he going to need that here? Because he's kind of managed to stall the board out.
I don't think he will because he has 2 blockers, and Garrett can get through maybe 1 damage a turn if he attacks. I mean, if he attacks, he's telegraphing the fact that he has a pump spell here, I think.
Although, is he on a list that still has stuff like Groundswell in it? Because that's not that common these days. So,
That I'm honestly not sure.
well, he's got something.
It's Hunger of the Halpack, so he's looking to try and kill off this ninja, and he succeeds. But now he's hellbent, and I think now is a great time for Aaron to fire off that sandstorm.
Yeah, this is the point where if Aaron has even... Aaron at this point, yeah, he's going to fire it right off. Even if he had something like Fugitive Wizard, he'd be fine. Like just a 1/1 for 1. He'd be happy with it.
And there he is, the Fugitive Wizard himself, the Delver of Secrets.
All right. Oof.
Garrett passes the turn. Delver does not flip. Is this going to be a cantrip? Yep, it's a Le Ponder.
All right. This looks like he's locking the game up right now. Even though he's down by 10 points of life, that is quickly going to narrow. All right, so we can assume off that ponder he's set up a flip for next turn. He's going to get in for the 1. Now, he's got double counterspell mana up here. That's just... Oh, man. And, yep, there we go. There's the Brainstorm. What are your feelings on the different Brainstorm arts, Adrian? What's your personal favorite?
Oh, man. Float to Gush.
Ooh.
The Chris Rush art is good. I like Ditter Lizzie a lot as an artist. I'm actually very fond of that one as well.
Yeah, I don't mind the Chris Rush one, but it's aged. All right, so I'm seeing at least a Preordain. Oh, man. Just gas for days. 2 go back on top.
I mean, this is a blue deck being a blue deck. Gush and a Brainstorm and a Cycle Ash Barrens. Like, he's able to get rid of the 2 islands.
Yep.
Which is really sweet. Like, this is one of the sweetest interactions in the deck. Gushing 2 lands back to your hand, putting them back in the deck, and then just putting them away in favor of 2 new spells. Like, Aaron just gassed up.
Yeah, and this is just like the gap between the 2 sides of this game are just it's getting wider by the second. 2 mana. All right, going for the Augur. Not sure I would have tapped the red there, but I guess that does leave him up for another. Oh, yep, counterspell, and he's got the Preordain in hand, so he's probably gonna fire that off. Yep, man.
Right.
Just,
I don't think Garrett can get out of this any longer, unfortunately.
I'm running through all the cards Stompy plays these days, and I cannot come up with a line that ends with Garrett winning. Because at this point, he knows his opponent has a counterspell. I'm seeing a Spell Stutter Sprite in the hand and a Bolt. This is a commanding position.
I think we just gotta look at Garrett's hand. It looked like 2 lands.
Oof, that is the risk of these low to the ground aggro decks. They really don't have room for card draw.
Looks like he drew a Burning Tree. Yeah.
All right, Burning Tree resolves. It looks like.
But I don't think he has a follow-up.
Oof. Oh, man. Just playing a Grizzly Bears is not the ideal mode for that card. It does effectively slow the clock slightly by not letting the Augur get in, but that's not really a big game there.
And Aaron just has so many counters here. If you're looking at his hand, he's a counterspell, at least 1 counterspell, at least 1 spell stutter. So I think this game is pretty much locked up.
Is that a Daze in the middle as well?
I don't think so. I don't think he runs Daze. Maybe he does. There's the spell stutter. And then a Skargan Pit Skulk to follow up.
Oh man, this is he's trying to stem an arterial bleed here. He's got 2 turns left and is not closing this out. Oof. Oh, not even. Had the bolt. All right. So we got to see Delver execute on plan pretty perfectly there, I have to say.
Yeah, Aaron was just able to keep Garrett, stabilize, keep Garrett off of his threats with that auger, and then eventually just gas up on that gush turn. So that's really the strength of the blue decks.
All right. Now it looks like Garrett did make one sideboard change there. I've got to wonder what that is. Because he is now going to be on the play. Like, that does affect how Stompy plays a little bit.
And let's not forget that Aaron is a bronze level pro.
I mean, you can say it's the gush gassing him up, but at this point, buddy, it's you gassing him up as well. All right, so what is Garrett's ideal hand looking like in this matchup? Is he just looking to see like a nice curve out here, or
I think his plan is really to explode and overwhelm Aaron's resources. One of the drawbacks of the Delver decks is that he only has access to 1 red mana a turn, and 7 is a big ask for the graveyard. Aaron probably won't be able to, and 4 mana. Aaron probably can't do that for several turns. At least 4, I guess. In which case, he's probably not contributing much to his board. Excuse me. So I think Garrett's big line is gonna be Nettle Sentinel, Burning Tree, Nest Invader, and then just try to overwhelm Aaron as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't also mind seeing a Rancor in the opener. Rancor definitely helps his odds here. All right.
Yeah, Rancor, the meta isn't really like this anymore, but it used to be you were Drake or you were Rancor, right? Because Boggles and Stompy were super good when Drake was in the meta. But now, as we've discussed ad nauseum, you're a Gush deck, a Monarch deck, or a Tron deck, or some sort of weird variant. And I guess this still sort of falls into that category.
All right. Players looking at their opening 7. Garrett really in the tank on this one. This has got to be another one of those, I'm seeing 2 lands. I can't, unless he's got more than, going back. Unless he's got more than 1 Elephant Guide, I'm not sure what was wrong with that hand. Looks like Aaron's keeping here, though. And from having played Stompy, I would not envy Garrett in this position.
Yeah, it's tough. And like you said earlier, the disparity between the decks was really evident in that last game, where Garrett really had the tools he needed to beat Aaron, and Aaron was still able to win, mostly based on that Swirling Sandstorm. And I only think there are 2 in the deck, so if Garrett can dodge Swirling Sandstorm and get a good explosive start here, even going to 6, I think he could still have a chance of beating Aaron.
Yeah, I definitely think that there are 6-card hands.
And I don't mean to sound super deterministic about the match or anything. Like, I do think Garrett's got a solid shot, but if Aaron was on mono blue also, for example, right at the bottom, this matchup would be a lot different too. It's really the red that's making this matchup. So here's a Forest, here's a turn 1 Nettle Sentinel. Like I said earlier, that's the first thing Garrett needs in order to beat Aaron.
All 3 games in a row too. Just one of the optimal openers for this deck.
And he won game 1. Don't forget.
Yeah. All right. Gets in for 2. Oof.
That's okay here. But Aaron blind flips the Delver, which is probably a little better. And also Garrett missed a land drop. Oh, he's untapping his Nettle Sentinel. Looks like he forgot to untap it previously. Aaron,
thankfully these matches aren't sanctioned, but
Aaron preordaining here, I think. He just revealed that preordain.
Yeah, I'd gotta imagine. Yeah. Don't give your opponent any extra information about what's going on, and All right. Looks like I see an Electrickery there. All right, both of them stayed on top.
So he did bring in Electrickery. That's interesting because in our episode just now we were discussing whether or not that was actually good against Stompy. Or no, maybe it was even during this. Sorry, guys. We did this back to back with an episode, so about sideboarding no less. So here comes. It looks like Aaron has a Scred in his hand as well. Maybe he's just going to go ahead and Scred here. Yeah, gets rid of the scatter shot, so his fairies are good later.
Yeah, I mean, even if Garrett has another scatter shot, that's not a problem. But 2 of them on the board at the same time just presents such an issue for Delver. Oh man, he had the Kyrian Ranger and everything. Oh man.
Well, he might have just drawn that.
Still though, that's got to sting a little bit. Being able to If he had just one more turn, he would have been able to blow the Delver out of the air.
That's actually a pretty good pickup here because he kind of needs more lands. He's a little stuck right now. I mean, I guess he doesn't really. Stompy is okay with Carrion Ranger land, but I think that sort of makes it so he can't be as explosive as he really needed to be. Then there's the second land, so that's pretty good. So here's an attack for 2. Aaron thinking about it.
I mean,
gives Garrett. Oh, he does. He takes the trade.
Huh. Now that's interesting.
Well, I guess from Aaron's perspective, his creatures are probably a lot less valuable than Garrett's because Garrett eventually is going to run out of gas and Aaron can in the air with a bunch of 1/1s. And as long as Garrett doesn't have a threat, Aaron can just sculpt his hand until he's happy with his cards and can start getting in. So that might be the consideration there. And also, it also bluffs out potentially a Hunger of the Howlpack. Yikes! If Aaron can't answer that, that's gonna be extremely good. That isn't like trickery, so he might overload it. Overloads it to play around. It looks like Garrett might have even was about to play it there. Overloads to play around Vines of the Vastwood here.
Now, maybe you'd like to elucidate for some of the folks who are newer to Pauper, why is that interaction important here? Because in an earlier game, we did notice he did the same thing where he overloaded it when it would only kill one thing.
Vines of the Vastwood gives hexproof, and so if Aaron really needed to get rid of that Carrion Ranger, because if it become a 5/5, a 4/4,
4/4,
he wouldn't be able to deal with it as effectively. He would have to draw exactly Scred, and that just gives Garrett so much time to get in with that 4/4. So overloading it here to play around Vines of the Vastwood was, I believe, the correct play.
Yeah, and with Garrett at no board position, all right, Augur, that's a 20-turn clock, right? Like,
yeah, so
he can get there.
Just gonna gas on back up here. Reveals counterspell.
Ooh, he's got a tricky one here. What's he got? All right, preordain.
I don't think. Oh, he is gonna go ahead and fire it off. Scries both. Thinking about the scry. Both to the top. Goes ahead and draws his card. Yeah, now he's in a very good position where he has his best blocker on the board. If he is a ninja, he can just return it back to his hand for pure value. Garrett has nothing really going on here. So, all right, I do like Nest Invader. That's a start. Nest Invader into Nest Invader. Interesting. And then passes the turn back. So, okay, this is the hand that he needed earlier to win, I think.
I mean, this is not one of the worst things. If he could have kept a mana up, I would have liked it more. Just to even bluff the Hunger of the Howlpack here.
But it does make it so Aaron can't attack or get any ninja value. So that is definitely something. Gets a Vapor Snag. Interesting. So that's some additional interaction on Aaron's part to help with all the pumps, play around all the pump spells that Garrett has. Taps 1, plays a Nettle Sentinel, so it's just an army of 2/2s, and chooses to not attack. Aaron can just double block one of them and not actually suffer any casualties, and also has the Vapor Snag if things get kind of bad, so Garrett can't really attack into that.
Yeah, he's not in a great position here, but he can definitely wait a little bit and hope to draw into something that changes this dynamic here.
Aaron counting the cards to his graveyard. He has 7, so he's good. Garrett going ahead and attacking here.
Double blocking one of the Nest Invaders, and what do we got?
Yeah, he does that, and then Aaron chooses not to use the Vapor Snag, instead chooses to Scred. So that will take care of that Nest Invader. Loses 4 life, and then plays a Skargan Pit Skulk. So the Skargan Pit Skulk can actually get in unanswered, but Aaron is just going to go ahead and counterspell it.
Yeah, I think he realizes correctly so that he's just not going to have an answer for that anytime soon. That's more reasonable. He's not going to be able to block it. All right, just passing back.
And Garrett is Hellbent again here, and Aaron has the Swirling Sandstorm in his hand. So, yeah, things are looking a lot like they did in the second game, where Garrett's got stuff, but I don't think it's enough to beat the 5 cards that are currently in Aaron's hand, unfortunately. Because all Aaron has to do, like I said, is just sit back, sculpt his hand, and attempt to get in with a bunch of flyers later.
All right, getting in with 2 creatures.
Aaron blocks one on each. Garrett, it looks like, will attempt to cast a spell. Hunger the Howpack. Not sacrificing the creature, but doesn't need to here because Aaron has the Vapor Snag. But returning that to his hand is actually not super bad because he'll get an extra token for his trouble. But does he... If he just has... Oh, he counters it. Okay. So that's 2 counter spells down. And he overloads an Electrickery, which kills everything. Wow.
Oof. That's just... Yep.
So
that's it. He's just not coming back.
I was actually there when that happened. I want to make it clear. Aaron was very... It looks like Aaron offered the handshake very preemptively there. They were discussing, and Garrett said, I think I'm going to go ahead and concede. And Aaron said, well, I would like to shake hands on camera just to show that the game is over. So that looked a little bit rude, I guess, but it was talked out, which is something you don't get a lot of during these commentated matches, is like what the players are actually saying. And here, well, we saw what the players boarded, basically.
All right, so that's our first episode of this new video series. That was a really interesting match. I think you called it at the beginning that you felt that Izzet Delver was advantaged here, and that definitely played out. Was there anything you think could have been changed in Garrett's play, or if Aaron hadn't hit anything specifically at a certain time? It looked like it was real tight on both sides.
Yeah, Garrett just needed to have more of an explosive start. Game 1 he did, and he steamrolled Aaron. And Aaron was a little stuck on land, so there is that element to it also. But Stompy's real thing is that it needs to apply pressure. And if you let Aaron sit back and sculpt his hand and draw his burn spells and draw his augers, like if you just give him the time, he's gonna win.
Yeah, and I think just it's not if the game goes past a certain turn in this matchup, I have to feel like Stompy's odds just drop off dramatically. I mean, some of the hands that could have really helped, we didn't see Burning Tree Emissary except for that one time where it showed up late. A good opener with like Burning Tree Emissary and a Nest Invader would have just put so many bodies onto the board that Aaron would have had a bit of a tough time dealing with that. And I think that was one of the outs that he had there. But just draws didn't really cooperate with him, and Aaron got what he needed. So I guess that's real. What more can you say? When you don't get the opener you want and your opponent does get a pretty solid opener, your odds go down pretty dramatically.
Yep. So it was good. I enjoyed that.
All right, wonderful. You want to do a little outro here?
Yeah, sure. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I'm thinking I'll just take a picture of our faces here for this part. So I'm sure you're tired of staring at us, but yeah, expect more of this common area. The pun is still there in my head, but I do like just calling it COMMONAREA. I hope we get to do more of these in the future. I know that we will. The Float to Gush Austin team here is very excited to keep producing the content, so expect a lot more from us.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, folks.